My name's Alex Velez. I'm 22, and I temp the overnight stock shift at the Walmart Supercenter off Katy Freeway in West Houston, Texas. Store #3467 if you feel like Googling the floor plan. I'm a full-time EMT student, so 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. pays the bills. I haven't already drowned in energy drinks. On a late August Thursday, the sky was spitting angry heat lightning, but the Supercenter was still on its old 24-hour schedule. 2 cashiers held the front. Security had bailed at 11 because the rent-a-cop's kid had strep, and that left just me and my aisle partner, Rosa, in a 200,000 square foot box of fluorescent buzz. 10:48 p.m. The raincoat man. I was stacking camping stoves when a customer trudged up the aisle. He could have been 40 or 60, wrinkles carved by sun or sin, hard to tell. He dripped rainwater in a yellow fisherman's slicker, even though the night was bone dry on our side of town. "Got any more butane canisters in back?" he muttered, never once blinking. I told him only what was on the peg hooks. He stared like he was etching my face into stone, then waddled off. I shook off the prickles down my spine and turned my earbuds back up. 12:07 a.m. The Linger. The store empties fast after midnight. I rounded Automotive with a flat cart of windshield fluid boxes and spotted Slickerman again. This time in toys, touching nothing, head cocked, as if listening to some squeal only he could hear. When my cart wheels squeaked, he pivoted behind an end cap and vanished. I rolled to the front registers to warn the cashiers. Both lanes were dark, self-checkout screens, looping the idle Walmart smiley. No sign of Rosa either. My walkie crackled pure static, so I chalked it up to cheap batteries and trudged to the back room. 1:33 a.m. Camera blind spots corporate claims our security feed stores 30 days, but the monitor room door was ajar, and every screen read, on the only working TV, frozen like a paused VHS, was a frame of me stocking camping an hour earlier, and behind me peeking from a tent display, that's Slicker. Lightning flared outside. The screens ghosted white and died. Something slammed the fire exit bar in hardware. I nearly ate my tongue. I ran the main corridor, pallet jack rattling behind me for defense. The exit beeper shrieked, then stuttered silent. The door was still chained, but the floor showed muddy footprints leading in. 2:05 a.m. The freezer. I hunted for Rosa, yelling her name across produce and bread. Nothing. My phone buzzed with an unknown number. Against all sense, I answered. Static and a choppy ringtone played "Take Me Out to the Ball Games" in distorted 8-bit. Then a whisper, words stretched, reversed, but my own name surfaced. Alex. Time to stalk me. I thumbed airplane mode and bolted into the walk-in dairy cooler, figured thick doors and humming fans might drown the fear. I crouched between milk crates. A tiny rectangle of light wavered on the opposite steel wall, like someone sliding a phone under the door. I heard the latch lift. I shoved a crate to brace it, heart thrashing, metal scraped. Then slowly, the crate eased forward on its own, exactly 2 inches, as though an ice-cold palm nudged it. I steadied my breath and dared to stand. Across the frosted glass panel, someone had written with a fingertip, "Open for corporate." Lightning popped, the overhead bulb flickered out, and complete dark swallowed me. 2:17 a.m. Rosa's call. When emergency lights sputtered back, the freezer door was ajar, and the message erased. My phone, still on airplane, flashed a voicemail alert time-stamped 2:06. It was from Rosa. "Alex, I'm in lawn and garden, the outside gate's jammed. He keeps laughing and saying we're not on the schedule. Hurry. Screw corporate protocol. I grabbed a box cutter and charged the corridor. 2:24 a.m. The garden trap, the double doors to lawn and garden groaned open. Outside wind had finally kicked. Plastic deck chairs clattered. Rosa stood at the far gate, face slick with sweat, fiddling the padlock. Drop the knife, Alex, she whispered. He said you'd ruin the inspection. Who said? She flinched at something behind me. I spun. Slicker man loomed between patio umbrellas, the yellow coat now caked with cement dust. His eyes were wide white ovals that never moved yet, somehow twitched. He raised a handheld click counter, the kind ushers use, and pressed it once. Click. 1 stocker, accounted for, he rasped. Click. 2. He pointed the counter at the gate, at Rosa. She started to sob. I stepped forward. Sir, store policy says customers leave after midnight. You can't be. He lunged faster than logic, shoving me into a display of Miracle Grow. The knife skittered. He dragged Rosa by her ponytail toward the gate. She kicked, ripping a section of chain link. Thunder rolled overhead like God dropping pallets. I grabbed the counter and smashed it into his temple. Instead of blood, a fine gray powder poofed out, the same dust on his coat. He didn't bleed. He hissed, lips cracking like old paint. He swung Rosa against the glass door. Alarms screamed. The auto lights strobed, making his motions look stop motion, wrong, too few frames per second. The coat deflated empty around him for one blink, then filled again with a whomp like a parachute catching wind. Rosa shrieked, "He's hollow." I seized a propane tank display dolly and rammed his back. The coat split, disgorging clouds of that powder. He whirled, powder eyes swirling, and shoved a gloved hand inside my mouth. I tasted drywall. 2:31 a.m. No signal. The world tilted. Then Rosa yanked the fire hose from its break glass cabinet and unleashed a geyser. Water hammered Slicker Man. The yellow fabric sloughed off, melting into mush-gray slush on the floor. The powder spiraled down the storm drain. Rosa kept spraying until the hose choked on air. Alarms cut. Lights steadied. Slicker Man was gone. No coat. No shoes. No human smear. Just one item left behind, bobbing in grimy suds. The click counter, stuck on 002, 4:12 a.m. Morning shift. We cowered in the manager's office until morning crew arrived. When we explained, they tried the DVR. Every camera showed time-stamped footage, except between 10:45 p.m. and 2:35 a.m. Those hours were pure black, punctuated only by that looping 8-bit baseball tune. Rosa quit on the spot. I almost did, but tuition's a monster. They sent in a regional safety inspector at 9 a.m. He wore a clean yellow slicker, said heavy rain was coming down the freeway. He shook my hand with a faint chalky smile. "Interesting night, Mr. Velez?" he asked, voice too calm. I met his eyes. They were normal, brown blinking, but on the clipboard tucked under his arm, I saw a click counter clipped to the top, already reading 002. I backed up. My shoes squeaked on the polished tile, same rhythm as a baseball organ ditty echoing faint from the PA, music our store doesn't keep in its playlist. He clicked the counter once more. 003. His grin was too wide to be human. Second story. My name's Devin Ross, 24, and I worked the graveyard security slot at the Walmart Supercenter off Tropicana Avenue in Las Vegas, store hash 2593, 2 miles from the Strip, but a galaxy away from neon comfort, Corporate called it a pilot program. One lone guard from 10:30 p.m. to 7 a.m., roaming the floor, watching cameras, saving payroll. They handed me a lanyard, a can of pepper spray, and a radio that loved to die at 3 a.m. as reliably as the fountain show at Bellagio. 10:47 p.m. The mannequins moved seasonal aisle had exploded early with October merch, plastic gravestones, motion-activated clowns, and a life-size animatronic Reaper in a black burlap robe. When I clocked in, the thing's scythe was raised left-handed. 20 minutes later, strolling past with my clipboard, the scythe was in its right. The tag still zip-tied its wrist, so maybe another employee twisted the arms for fun. Fine. Vegas runs on pranks. 12:02 a.m. Slot machine lady, a woman in a red evening dress, drifted under the fluorescence, hair lacquered into casino glamour. No cart, no purse, just manicured fingers, tapping the handle of an empty stroller like she expected it to pay out. She asked if our bathroom had a changing table. I pointed her toward the restrooms behind customer service, but she veered into the staff-only corridor, where infant apparel sat dark and shuttered for restock. "Ma'am, that area's closed," I said, but she kept walking, high heels silent on the wax tile. When I jogged after her, she was gone. Corridor dead end, only a faint cigarette smell, the kind that clings to your jacket after losing rent at a penny slot. 12:19 a.m. Camera echoes. Back in the security booth. A rewound aisle 17's feed. The DVR confirmed the lady but froze when she neared the infant sign. Freeze frame bled digital snow for 9 full seconds. Then the picture jumped to me, sprinting in circles like a Scooby-Doo extra. I radioed night manager Luis. Static answered, followed by something that sounded like a coin drop and a distant infant giggle. The radio died. 1:11 a.m. Jackpot aisle 17 motion sensor pinged again. I walked the floor, pushing my cart of nerves. The Reaper animatronic's head now tilted, following me with plastic cataract eyes. Its robe hem dripped brown water onto the vinyl. The mop crew had signed out at 11. I bent to touch the liquid, sticky, rust-sweet. My stomach folded. I fenced the area with caution cones and moved on. In electronics, every demo TV displayed the same thing. The lady in red, front row slot machine glare across her cheekbones. She raised one finger to the screen and whispered something. I killed the power strip. Monitors still flickered, dim, running on phantom juice. They replayed her image, but now the stroller behind her was occupied, a heap of rags, or a child curled fetal, face hidden. I yanked the emergency plug. The screens went black, except the center Samsung, which brightened into live footage of seasonal aisle, angle I didn't remember installing, showing the Reaper standing in front of a pyramid of diaper boxes, scythe pointing at the topmost one. The box twitched. 1:34 a.m. Diaper mountain. I hustled to seasonal. Diaper boxes leaned like a wedding cake, left in the sun. The top package trembled, split, and a tiny gray hand slipped out. Velcro hospital bracelet, dangling. I thought rational, mannequin limb, prank. Then the hand flexed. Something inside the package gave a wet hiccup. The Reaper animatronic's motion sensor clicked. Its jaw opened. "Your shift is up," it croaked in a voice drier than Kino tickets. That burlap hood rippled though the HVAC was off. I sprinted toward receiving. The overhead PA crackled spontaneously. "Clean up in infant apparel. Bring towels." That wasn't any code I knew. Luis's office door was ajar. Blue monitor glow painted the hall. He sat slumped in his swivel chair, eyes wide, headset dangling. Coins glittered across the desk. Nickels, pennies, quarters, no same year, all faces scratched. His screen looped bathroom hall footage. The lady in red pushed the empty stroller into frame, stopped, then wheeled it backward. Each pass, a blur grew richer inside the stroller, condensing from static until shape became limbs. The final loop showed a newborn with tape across its mouth. The DVR timestamp read 2:05 a.m., 2 minutes ahead of real time. My radio popped alive, slot machine bells, baby cooing, then a whisper that used my first name, Davine Jackpot, 2:02 a.m., 2 minutes left. I bolted for the front doors, but their motorized locks hissed down. Midnight policy. Unlocked. Someone or something had overridden. I pounded glass. Outside, desert wind threw grit against the facade like applause. Movement in my periphery. The Reaper trudged from seasonal, dragging its scythe, metal on tile, robes soaking dark trails. Behind it rolled the stroller, self-propelled. The baby inside wore no hospital bracelet, now just a Walmart tag, price-coded $0. Its mouth opened wider than bone allowed, crying without sound, throat a void, inventory must balance. The Reaper groaned, one item in, one soul out. It lifted the scythe, pointed at me. Slot machine lady emerged from menswear mirrors, eyes empty of pupils, spinning a quarter across her knuckles. Quarter fell, pinged, rolled to my sneaker. Heads. I scooped the coin, felt heat like a stovetop. The walls flexed, aisles bending Las Vegas style. A neon funhouse wave. Signage flickered random letters. Rollback became black. The PA started that lullaby some slot banks play at dawn when losers finally cash out. Tinny Hollow, 2:05 a.m. Overage report, DVR prophecy time. Reaper lunged. I tossed the searing quarter at its hood. Metal hit burlap. Cloth exploded into black smoke, revealing a mannequin skeleton wired with speakers and organs. A strip of intestine looped the speaker cone like Christmas ribbon. The mannequin collapsed, smoke curling into the stroller, swirling around the infant. Baby became fog. Fog became coins, clinking into the stroller bed, pouring out onto the floor, sluicing around my boots. Nickels stacked themselves into a child-sized shape. Slot machine lady knelt, whispering casino lullabies. Keep playing, Devon. Machines are loose tonight. I yanked Luis's master keys from his limp pocket, darted to lawn and garden exit. Lock turned like honey. Desert night breathed me in. The lot was empty, but every shopping cart sat aligned in perfect rows, except one rolling toward me on its own, carrying the stroller. I sprinted across asphalt, neon reflected in a puddle that shouldn't exist. It hadn't rained in weeks. Red dress hovered in the reflection though she wasn't above it. A slot bell dinged. I kept running until Tropicana lights blurred, until my lungs felt packed with quarters. Later corporate fired me for abandoning post, billed me for busted merch. It claimed camera feeds, showed nothing but me trashing seasonal aisle alone. Luis resigned, says he never worked that night. I flip every coin tails up, now, never heads. Heads belongs to them. Last week a padded envelope arrived, no return address, postmarked Vegas. Inside, a single Walmart receipt, time-stamped 2:05 a.m. Item line reading, Infant Soul, returned clerk ID 000, stapled to it, 1/4 fused to burnt burlap. The side imprint is still hot. His eyes reflected the exit lights like coins dropped into a well. Third story. My name's Marisol Ortega, 23, and I run the graveyard maintenance shift at the Walmart Supercenter on Roosevelt Boulevard in Philadelphia. Store hash 2141. the one welded between an abandoned outlet mall and the bypass on-ramp. I took the job because night classes at Temple End at 9 and student loans don't flinch. Walmart's fluorescent cave pays overtime. Corporate says we're low volume overnight, which translates to 2 employees total from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Me with a janitor cart, and Cliff, a gray-bearded stock lead who talks to pallets as if they're pets. Security's off-site, watching cameras from Arkansas. Latency can hit 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a lifetime when the wrong thing rounds a corner. I was mopping produce when every wall-mounted TV blipped from infomercial static to the closed-circuit feed of electronics, a view only the security hub should access. A crawl of yellow text, scroll the top edge, inventory anomaly detected, scan unidentified SKU. On screen, a figure in black surgical scrubs stood motionless between phone cases. No badge, no cart, no face, its head wrapped in white gauze, except for 2 gaping sockets. I froze mid-swipe, water pooling under my shoe. Then the TVs winked back to infomercials. I radioed Cliff. His rasp cut through. I'm still unloading dog food, girl. Cameras glitch. Keep mopping. The janitor closet held a master tablet, mirroring all 48 cameras. I swiped to electronics. Feed offline. Red X. 11:41 p.m. Cliff paged me. Need a cleanup. Aisles 17 grocery. Looks red. Sticky maroon streaks curved down the cereal shelves. At their end sat an unbranded gray cardboard box, the size of a shoebox. No logo, no barcode, just a white sticker stamped 000000000000000000000000000. Never seen one. Leave it. I'll call Global Inventory at lunch. I balanced the box on my cart. Halfway to the closet, the store intercom awakened. No chime, just a heartbeat thudding through every ceiling speaker. 4 beats, then a child's monotone voice. Scan me, price me, stock me. 12:18 a.m. All 6 self-checkout machines rebooted. Their screens demanded, place item in bagging area for price verification. The outline matched my gray box. I set the box on lane hash 4. Scale beeped. Screen flashed. Description. Organic return price. Your left eye. The belt sucked the box down the cash drop chute. A receipt printed. Blank, except for a wet black circle. Crimson smeared my finger when I touched it. The heartbeat quickened. 12:44 a.m. Cliff's radio went dead. In Pets I found his pallet jack spinning, and his left shoe. No blood, toes pointing toward the back room. Emergency flashlight in hand. I entered darkness. Packages breathed, plastic stretching with every inhale. Dog food bags toppled, revealing Cliff's vest, empty, and a security tablet propped against a pallet showing live footage of me right now. Text crawled, UN priced item, located, prepare for markdown. 1:03 a.m. Walk-in doors yawned, open. Frost fogged the racks, where dozens of employee vests dangled above bins, labeled hearts, EIs, and an empty voice. The gauze-wrapped figure emerged, cradling Cliff's eyeless face. Gauze peeled back. Its head was a white thermal printer. It spat a receipt. Return complete. Store credit issued. It wheeled a rusted grocery cart, loaded with more zero SKU boxes, lids twitching, lights died. The heart beat, hammered. Strobe bursts showed the cart impossibly closer, each flash. 1:11 a.m. I hurled my flashlight. Glass burst against the printer face. Boxes spilled, releasing organic pieces gripping blank receipts. I sprinted to the register manager terminal, keyed 0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000woood .1:32 a.m. emergency red lights led me to garden. Chains sealed the exit. A tag hung. Unique item. Do not remove. I smashed the lock. Outside, a digital sign inside flicked to aisle 0, projecting a vast multi-armed shadow that split ceiling tiles. A red sticker-shaped halo locked on my chest. A gentle printer choir whispered, "Price verified, pickup scheduled for sunrise." The halo squeezed. 1:38 a.m. I burst into the blacktop. Sodium lamps flashed Walmart blue. Shopping carts turned toward me. Tags on their seats glowed. Express return. Curbside. A roof camera projected a scanning grid across me. Carts herded me to the dumpster pen. I climbed the taller bin and dropped inside. Something perched on the rim. A receipt floated down. Full price due. A wet eye followed. Optic nerve dangling, staring. 1:42 a.m. Hydraulic claws lifted the dumpster toward the compactor. Under bundled vests, a steel plate read AIS V0, organic stock. I slashed a gap, kicked the panel, and spilled out mid-air, catching a drooping holiday light cable. I crashed onto the awning, rolled to asphalt. The crane crushed the bin. Receipts snowing. Gauzeman waited below. Head now a beeping barcode scanner. Thermal paper lashed to my wrists. Above, a colossal drone glided from the clouds. Walmart spark glowing. Bay doors opened. A tag inside swung. Bottega, Marisol, store number 2141. Floodlights pinned me. Paper bonds tightened. Carts shoving me forward. The drone's rotors were silent, but the heartbeat matched their rhythm. Faster, faster. The smile logo over the entrance inverted, yawning wide, as the drone descended.